Coming up next is the NXT Patreon Roundtable, featuring longtime subscribers and show regulars Harry Ruiz, Carlos Hernandez, and Matt Trevino.
Bendigo Dos, do you suggest that we, what I want to start with here, at NXT or AEW?
AEW.
Okay, Harry, what should we start with?
I'm good with AEW.
Elijo Denaya Rose.
Well, my namesake did wrestle tonight, so we should start with AEW.
All right, so because all three of you suggested AEW, okay, we're going to start with NXT, because as you know, the reason I want to ask you guys a suggestion is to know which show not to start.
You literally asked us what we thought.
I saw both shows. I saw both
I
shows.
don't like this.
Exactly. You gave your recommendation, correct?
I do not pay $40.
Because you asked for it.
We do not take recommendation suggestions.
Should be slapped around. I do not pay $40 to be.
Yeah. So
All right, let's start with whatever you want to start with.
I want to start with NXT's. NXT's faster to go through because they don't do a lot of angles on the show. They do a lot of long wrestling matches.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So they start off with so Johnny Gargano against Dexter Loomis, and they do a skit. Back there with Gargano, and then before they come to the ring, and this is just like another super long Dexter Loomis match.
Yeah,
I don't know why they put this kid's got good character, but he doesn't have a supreme arsenal of moves. It's I don't understand why this guy can't do 7, 8, 9 minute match. Why they give me 13, 14, 15 every single time?
Yeah.
It was 15, pretty close to 15 minutes, right? Or was it more? It was long.
The guy, if they're trying to groom this guy to have long matches, I can see it.
13:36, sure.
It's I don't, I'd rather than practice this, go 20 at the performance center instead of in front of the camera because, if you want people to watch this show, it's you're going to bore them and after 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's there's another show going on. It's I don't understand why they do these. Okay, you get married to Johnny Gargano versus Dexter Loomis for 15 to 20 minutes here.
Mm-mm.
From a booking standpoint, that's very bizarre. Based on the way this crowd is, this is kind of like the Smart Mark night. Where everybody's rating the shows and stuff and all that. And there's a groundswell of people that don't think this guy's a good worker, even though he is. So it's just it's weird to me. So
yeah, that's why I stayed on AEW because I knew Moxley was going to beat that guy quick. And then when I came back to NXT, this was still going to be going on.
That's right. Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah. AEW went to a commercial break, and I went back to NXT, and they were still going in that match, and they went through a picture-in-picture. And and I don't know how the heck this match ended up happening because it's a program that they've been building for a while, and all of a sudden, bam, there you go.
Yeah, I thought it was a title match too.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't keep up with it. I don't really like NXT to be honest.
I don't, well, there's the stuff I like at NXT. I like the packages. Mm-hmm. I like cross. I like a few of the people stuff, but it's I don't give a rat's ass about these long ass matches that they're doing.
Yeah, I think I know NXT is better in so many terms, but just to me it doesn't appeal to me. I look at it and I get bored.
See, why would you get invested in people you don't care about because they're not making care about? Yeah, wrestle.
Okay, so one of the smart things about booking, like making a movie or writing a story, is understanding your characters. Not every match needs to go long with New Japan finishes just to show that you can hang with everybody. Right. That gets boring, it's lazy, it's redundant. Okay? And if you have a week to put a show together with all the resources they have and all the geniuses they have there, this is inexcusable. And that's the problem. Dexter Loomis is a very cool-looking character who should be best kept in short doses. And that's when I go back to people like Paul Lee, because Paul Lee was the master at hiding people's limitations.
Yeah. Because a character like that, he's either going to because the guy's character is supposed to be crazy.
Right.
Right? So you're mentally unstable. So your character's not going to invest in a 25-minute marathon. It's you're either going to try and take the guy's head off at the risk of getting your own head taken off because that's the way you think because you're unstable. It's so his character would not be in these long 13, 15. He would try to end. He's like the crazy fighter guy. You go, what the is this guy doing? He throws a haymaker and he knocks somebody out.
And just to throw people for a loop, later on in the match, Austin Theory's telling him, "Oh, you're too good for that. You don't need a chair." You know, like
right?
so
Yeah, what was
now
that
is
little
Austin
spot
Theory
right there?
turning bad babyface already?
In a very weird way.
So it's Theory had the chair. Candace was distracting the referee, and Theory didn't swing the chair at Loomis. And the first thing I'm thinking is like, oh, so it's supposed to be like the Helsinki syndrome that he's loving the guy that kidnapped him. I didn't like that angle.
Stockholm syndrome.
Stockholm. There you go.
It's almost like I found this very, 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 very bizarre. And the day that me and Tony Khan do talk, I'm going to bring this up. Why did the Chicken Hawk, Murder Hawk, whatever the Lance Archer's name is, insist on fist bumping a babyface after he beat him? Why aren't you doing that in the backstage?
Yeah.
You don't do that on TV. He should have beat the out of Phoenix, ripped his mask and stuck it up his ass and left with some heat. Not grab his hand and fist bump him.
Yeah, right now they got 4
Why don't you just make out in the middle of the ring?
Right now they got 4 baby faces in the ladder match at Revolution. Cody, Penta, Scorpio, and Archer seems like he's a babyface now.
Now you're the big AEW.
Wait, time out. We gotta go. We're on NXT.
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. I'm sorry. I got away. I'm sorry.
He's hot. He's hot about it. We'll get there.
I am hot about that because it makes no sense. It's like the guy just your wife, you shoot him, and then you go like, oh, you know.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah.
All right.
Want a beer?
So,
want a bomber?
So they showed a vignette with the MSK guys, and I'm not a fan of these where they're just portraying them as like a bunch of marks that's their dream to get into wrestling. They got into wrestling,
right?
Because there's a lot of characters presented like that on TV today, and it's like
they're all marks.
They're all like marks.
The guy
weird.
from Australia whose girlfriend paid him the thing. You know, they're all marks.
Yeah, they showed Zach Wentz like at arenas and pictures up in the stands, like with his CM Punk shirts and Cena shirts and all that stuff.
What does MSK stand for?
I still don't even know.
They didn't say it yet or whatever.
And I'd also like to say that Leon Ruff reminds me of like the Marco Stunt of NXT, like unassuming, not tough. You know what he reminds me of? He reminds me of like a.
We're getting there.
All right. Okay, my bad.
Talk about this right now. Malcolm Bivens and Tyler Russ made their entrance. Bivens called Russ the son he never had. I'm not buying these two together, by the way.
Yeah.
Bivens talked about how Ruff is getting an opportunity against Russ, and Russ will prove that he's a diamond in the rust. Leon Ruff made his entrance. Before Ruff could get in the ring, he was beat down by Isaiah Scott, who left Ruff lying. Bivens held up Russ' hand in the ring like it was a victory for Russ. What do you think about this?
Well, like I said, Leon Ruff is one of the most unassuming superstars I've ever seen because the guy looks like a cross between, and I know I'm dating myself. Remember the Police Academy videos? Michael Winslow, the guy used to make all the weird noises, or Pookie from New Jack City when
Chris Rock.
When Chris, like he looks like a crackhead, like a skinny guy that you could literally walk down. What's that casino that I always bury in Las Vegas that Impact goes to? Sam's Town. You could literally go to the food court in Sam's Town or Saquon Casino over here, or to the L.A. right by Lucha Underground where all the tents are with the homeless people, and find a guy way more imposing than him, bro. He looks like some skinny 120-pound, like those little bite-sized candy bars they gave out in Halloween, like a little bite-sized, unassuming, bro.
It's just a taste.
Yeah, and I remember reading Disco when Ruff won the title from Gargano, and Disco liked that. And for a one-time thing, my guess is that's cool. But then you keep on booking this guy, and it's.
Yeah, he was slapping Damian Priest, and he was. Remember all that?
Yeah, I don't get.
No, the thing that gets to me.
I don't get this guy.
The thing that gets to me is like a guy like that kicks out of a lot of things too. Like they do crazy moves to him, and he's like just as strong as other people, or if not stronger. Right. And I don't know. That stuff always annoys me, to be honest.
All right, so I'm going to tell. So up next is the first of the Cameron Grimes clips where he's watching. He's trying to mimic the $1 Million Man. I don't want to talk about these every time they come up on the show. So collectively, I thought they were silly. What did you guys think?
Way too much Cameron Grimes. Way too much unfunny comedy. And we've said that ad nauseum.
That's interesting, dude.
Yeah,
You've turned against it now, Di, because like the last couple of weeks you were into what they were doing with him with the stock market.
Yeah, but they're doing.
It's overboard, bro. It's overboard.
Why? But
He doesn't look. There are guys.
like,
I'm going to tell you. Let me just say one thing. I do have to say this. There are guys like Chris Jericho, like Disco Inferno, like Scott Hall. You could literally give these guys a bag of shit and they'll make it funny somehow. Not everybody has that ability, and Cameron Grimes is not one of them.
So
that's all there is to it.
So the next is Io Shirai against Zoe Stark. They introduced Zoe Stark last week. She wins a match, so she wrestles Io Shirai. I guess this is a non-title match.
Yeah. Right.
And it's just 8 minutes, and Io Shirai beat her. So it's like, okay,
bro.
whatever.
There was a part in this match. You guys might have missed it. You guys might have seen it, where Io Shirai, who I've been saying this for a long time, her stature doesn't match her physicality. She's not that physical. Okay.
Right.
And she gave this girl, I don't know who she is. What's her name?
Tony Stark or
no,
what's her name?
Zoe Stark.
Zoe
Stark. Okay, who besides kind of has a weird body shape, but she gave her a very, very fake-looking uppercut, and they both sold it, which buried both of them.
Yeah, okay? I saw that.
Yeah, and then of course, your typical NXT, AEW, New Japan, overdone. False finish after false finish after false finish to show she can hang with her.
Yeah.
Not everybody needs to hang with you. Not everybody needs to hang with everybody, bro.
So this chick, the Zoe Stark, she used to wrestle at FSW, where Disco used to train wrestlers as Lacey Ryan. She beat.
So do you know her?
I've seen her wrestle a couple of times, but sorry.
Disco. He said she trained with you.
She used to be Lacey Ryan in FSW.
Lacey Ryan? Which girl is this?
Zoe Stark. She came out of FSW.
The one that faced Io Shirai today.
I don't recognize her.
She looks like she might be black and white, kind of, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I saw her wrestle a couple of times, and I didn't think she was that special. But they put her from the get-go against the champ, so they might think highly of her.
So they go backstage, and Mackenzie Mitchell is asking the way to ask Gargano about his match. Gargano berated Theory for not hitting Loomis with the chair. Theory said the chair wasn't necessary because Loomis is a misunderstood man. Gargano said that Loomis should go to jail for kidnapping and chloroforming Theory. It's true, he should. LeRae asked Harwell to convince her brother that Loomis should go to jail. Harwell surprised Gargano and LeRae by saying that she thinks Loomis is hot. Gargano said they're going to send Theory to therapy. That's just funny to read, you know?
Disco.
But it was stupid to see, man.
That's the girl. I don't know if you recognize her or not.
Who? Which
girl from FSW?
Lacey Ryan that was just on NXT.
Yeah.
Do you recognize her, Doug? Disco?
Not really, but maybe she looked different. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, I don't recognize her.
When chicks go to training, they're not wearing makeup or anything, so
yeah, I don't know. Maybe. So then we go to Jia Li, the evil Chinese faction.
Oh, I love this. Please give me some more names. Jia Li, who else?
Jia Li with Boa and Mei Ying.
Mei Ying?
Mei Ying. And she's going against Katie Catanzaro. And Catanzaro and her were friends previously. So Catanzaro, they're very aggressive out of the gate.
Okay, can I just ask you a quick question? I know you talked to I think you still talk to Jeremy Borash, right? Every now and then, or no? Okay.
Not really. Text.
Not that much. Okay.
Right.
Which of you three guys, on this panel would say that you kind of know what's going on in NXT?
Nope.
Everyone. I watch every other week.
Okay. What is the backstory? Because I've been watching this forever. What is the backstory between Kathy Canizaro and the other Filipino girl?
From what I kind of read is that before Shia Lee became like all this evil, she used to be on WWE TV with NXT, and I think they tagged together before, but it's not like they're super friends or anything.
It's funny because it's one of those things, like the way they were explaining it, they want you to care, but it's like they don't even care themselves. Because they were like, oh, she was her friend and she doesn't want to see her act like this. And then I'm just like, act like what? Or what's
Plus,
the
bro, you also got to remember, I'm a wrestling purist, right? Just like, Disco loves his English soccer. He's into English soccer, you know what I'm saying, to European soccer. Like, he's a purist. when I see somebody like Kathy Canizaro, who obviously was not trained in Mexico, who somebody got in a ring and taught her some lucha moves, and she's trying to do lucha moves and not that good, I'm like, what are you doing here? You know, I have a couple pet peeves. I hate when white girls try to act urban. Oh yeah, oh yeah. And I hate when white wrestlers who have not been trained properly in lucha just think because they saw it on tape that they know what the they're doing. Go ahead.
That girl has a bad rap, that KC Catanzaro, because I guess she came from the Ninja Warrior thing or whatever. Right. And like the impressive thing she did, quote impressive, was the handstand she did at the Women's Royal Rumble.
Right.
And like after that, it's like I look at her and I'm like, cool, she's athletic, very athletic, but I don't give a about her. Like she's
before I had to go to the hospital, I saw her do a move, and this is a shoot where she did like 3 or 4 flips and landed on some girl's face.
Yeah,
she didn't fracture her.
That was terrible.
So that was her finisher in the tag team tournament.
Change it.
In the first round, it looked good. In the second round, she almost killed Raquel Gonzalez.
All right, so the next, so Xia Li beats them up, whatever, ref stoppage. Like, so she's like a very evil Chinese character.
I just think, you know what I think Xia Li should have done?
What?
Should have come out, thrown Kathy Canizaro in a bowl of fire like they did The Fiend, and then grabbed the other Filipino girl and thrown her in a bowl of fire and get rid of both of them. Nothing?
That's very disrespectful.
Get some real heat. And then start vomiting spiders or whatever Randy Orton was vomiting.
So Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler are making the rounds because they're going to wrestle Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez next week on the show on NXT. So that should be great quality sports entertainment.
Right. Well,
I hope Raquel wins those belts. But
that's appointment TV.
So Killian Dane and Drake Maverick against the Grizzled Young Vets, which I cannot stand that name.
Yeah,
right.
It's too insider, like what a Grizzled Young Vets, what are acting like marks here. It's just a mark name for a team. It's brutal. So I fast forwarded through most of this, or not fast forward. I was paying attention to the other show. So Drake Maverick and Killian Dane got beat by the Grizzled Young Vets, and then Drake Maverick got carried out by Killian Dane. Then Imperium walked by and basically admonished Killian Dane for being kind of like
like a pussy kind of.
Yeah, because you're carrying around this little punk kid.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I will say this: Drake reminds me a lot of like Joey Ryan. He looks like halfway through puberty he stopped growing. But I will say this about Drake: he's very entertaining and he's a great guy because Borash introduced me to him and Grado, and they're very entertaining guys,
So the difference between him and Leon Ruff is that Maverick is good doing his character, and it's entertaining.
Right.
All right. So next we have.
Please refer to Killian Dane as Harry Balls Mahoney. Thank you.
So then we go to the what you call it, the no DQ match. Cross versus Escobar. What did you guys think of this?
I expected
that it was happening.
Is this the first? Okay, let me ask you a question. Is this the first time they've met?
In NXT, it is.
In NXT, it is.
Okay.
They met. You put them against each other in AAA, right?
No, but they were both heels, so they never really wrestled each other. They were always kind of
together. I thought they wrestled once. They did wrestle once, though.
Maybe once.
I think Cross's first match was against Phantasma.
Maybe I wasn't there. But
you were. I'm almost positive. We were talking about it on the show.
All right. But I usually had them as heels.
Harry Ruiz, look that up.
Yeah.
I'm looking it up. They were part of a team in 2019. Phantasma, Cross, and Rey Escorpion against Laredo Kid, Psycho Clown, and Puma
way before
King.
that. This is way before.
I'm going to go back
to 3 years ago. Go back to 2017.
But wasn't Vampiro booking at one point before Konnan went back?
Go. They faced each other in Verano de Escándalo 2017, June 4th, 2017, and it was a draw.
Right. I wasn't there. You were there. You 100% were there.
No, I don't think so.
No, that was actually the era when Konnan was with the Crash and
Vampiro
he used
was there,
to.
right?
Yeah. I know what I book.
Also, so Vamp was the one that was
right. Yeah.
Okay.
Why would I put them together?
Oh, no. Yeah, that's right. No. because they took him from the Lucha Underground crossover and brought him in. Right. That's how it started. All right. I thought this is really good TV. I liked it a lot.
Okay. This is what I thought. I thought it was going to be way more physical. I think the two Legado guys are supposed to be narco guys. Now look like they're motorcycle guys. I don't know why they changed their look. They kind of come off J-Bronish. I thought this would be for being their first fight. I thought this would be way more physical, and I thought it should have been way more brutal. And they're my boys. Yeah,
I was pissed off last week. I was pissed off last week when they postponed it out of nowhere.
Right. I think they had COVID. That's why.
I liked it because you know how they book this stuff.
And I also found out something real quick. I found out what Scarlett is talking. She's talking Romanian.
Oh, it's Romanian?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Good.
Interesting.
So why would Cross hit the door with the pickaxe and not the window?
Right. I thought the same thing.
Because he was trying to destroy the door because he had more points than the video game.
There were some spots where I was like, that doesn't make sense at all.
Right. He should have broken the window and pulled them through the window, tried to run him over with the truck. People stop him. There should have been way more chaos. Way more chaos. This should have been brutal, short, and left you wanting more next week. It did none of that for me. And they're my boys.
And the first couple of times that they've put people through the plexiglass, it was cool. Now it's just a concurring thing that happens every week.
Bro, I think he should have grabbed one guy, just thrown him through the glass, then grabbed the other guy, thrown him through the glass. I just thought for as long as many smart guys that are involved in this creative process, they should have done better. That's just me.
I'll throw this out there because this is what I'm wondering. Okay, is like I don't know when the conversation took place, but at some point they were going to ask. They had to ask everybody involved in this. Okay, who's the babyface, right? So of course, the other guy has 3 guys on his team, and you only have 1, so it's 3-on-1, right? But it's like I don't. That part of the story wasn't told enough. You know what I'm saying? That there was actually 3-on-1 because like he was selling pretty good. You know, like they were beating him down and beating him up pretty good and everything. But I think what they were trying to do here is before they laid the match out, they wanted to see what Cross does selling as a babyface. But then they were thinking, well, he's going against Escobar. Like maybe his character shouldn't be selling that much for just one guy right now. So let's make it a no DQ match so he can sell for everybody. Let's make it more realistic in their minds, right? But then by making a no DQ match, we're anticipating it to be more violent than it was. And I think they didn't anticipate in theory, like, okay, let's make it a no DQ match until they thought about, like, we should make this a no DQ match because, like, everybody would think that this would be a 2-minute match if they're going 1-on-1. I wonder if that's what they thought. Do you guys see anything in that?
Could be. You could have a point there. Yes.
You know,
I could see that.
And at the end of the day, they ended up protecting the big guy against the smaller guy that has the title, and they can use the excuse it was a street match. That's why he beat him.
But they did a couple good things in this match, like the dramatic spot where he knocked him through the 2 guys through the glass, and he's standing there. You know, you got the good camera shots. Like this is, I liked it. I thought there was enough violence. I thought. I don't want to just see a garbage street fight spot fest thing. Like they kind of like, you know, he was selling a body part. You know, he sells good as a baby face.